And welcome to Marcus and Mike Show, guys. I am Mike. My man over here on the right-hand side is Marcus. Marcus, how you doing today on this Wednesday afternoon, hump day?
Pretty good, man. My Houston Texans are winning. So whenever they have a winning week, I don't think I've ever told you this before. You know the show Inside the NFL, right?
Right.
If the Houston Texans or the Dallas Cowboys lose, I don't watch Inside the NFL. But when one of them wins or both of them win, I'll watch it. I can talk. But if both of them lose, I can't watch Inside the NFL for what? I just can't watch it.
Right. Yeah. So with that being said, you are also a Texas fan. You know, you are in Texas, so you got to represent your Texas Longhorns.
Right.
And my Kansas State Wildcats play your Texas Longhorns this weekend. I'm sorry, and a couple weekends. No, yeah, it is this Saturday. It is Saturday. Who do you got winning that game?
Where's it being played at? Manhattan or Austin?
I believe it is at Austin.
Oh, God, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'll go Texas in a field goal, but if it was in Manhattan, I'd say Kansas State by a touchdown or field goal.
Yeah, you guys have been sleeping on Kansas State for a long time. We've finally jumped up in the polls. We're number 16 now compared to the college football polls here. So we have an outside chance of possibly making it.
Yeah, I mean, I have Texas by a field goal, so that, my confidence isn't there. I wouldn't be shocked at all. We were here our next show Monday morning, and it was Kansas State beat Texas. I mean, that's not shocking at all. Yeah.
Right. So speaking of college football rankings, the first rankings did come out last week, and some people are up in arms. Some people are kind of like, it is what it is. It is the first poll here, but the top four teams to obviously in the college football playoff rankings make it to the playoffs. And as of right now, number one, they got Ohio State, number two, LSU, number three, Alabama, and four, Penn State, with five is at Clemson and six is at Georgia. First things first is, do you agree with those rankings?
For the most part, I'm not one of those people, and there's a lot of you guys out there, and you might be one of these, that because you won the national championship that automatically you're number one the following year until you compete again.
Yeah,
every year takes on its own identity, and Clemson hasn't played like a top four team. That's why they're at number 5. I don't have a problem with that. Now, if you're Clemson, you don't worry about it because you don't get up in arms about it because the four teams, some of them are going to play each other. Right. They're going to knock each other off, so you're going to slide it. If Clemson, if you take care of business, you're going to be in. So Clemson fans shouldn't be too worried, and they should accept the fact that they haven't played, great, and rightfully so. I mean, they lost all 5 of their top defensive linemen. Lawrence hasn't played great. He's thrown more interceptions now, in the first couple of games. I don't know if you knew that. You knew that. And then he had the whole career, his whole career, the whole freshman year. So let me see here. I mean, LSU, Alabama. I mean, that's going to clear some stuff up. I mean, Clemson's going to move ahead of one of them right off the bat. So I happen to think, and DeVinte's not playing. That kind of hurts LSU. They lost one of their pass rushers there for LSU. I'm still going to go out on a limb and pick LSU. So Alabama, looks like Clemson will take Alabama's spot coming up in the rankings. I don't have a problem. I love Penn State. Hey, Penn State has one of the best running back, wide receiver, quarterback combinations, like the triplets, in a long time. They haven't had that since Keyshawn Carter, Freddie Scott, and 1994's.
Yeah, that's a little bit before my time when I started watching college.
Before your time, so they haven't had that kind of triplet. They were the greatest show on turf in '94, Penn State. That was just get up and go, and they just blew everybody out. Look up the 1994 Penn State Nittany Lions, and they destroyed everybody. So, and Penn State hasn't had that in a while, and they have that this year, and they have a good D line. So Penn State's the real deal, man. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, they are really, really fun to watch. Also, who is really fun to watch is the Oregon Ducks. They are sitting there in the top 10, looking to make a move as well. But if you look at the top 4 seeds as of right now, in 3 weeks you have Ohio State playing Penn State. This week and then this week you have LSU playing Alabama. So in a roundabout way, this is your semifinals to get into the finals.
That game right there is must see TV. Where is that game at? Is that in Death Valley or?
The LSU Alabama game.
Ohio State, Penn State.
I believe it is at Ohio State, but let me clarify that for you.
Can the triplets be stopped by the Ohio State defense and Chase Young? And can Penn State's defensive line control Fields, the quarterback? Man, that right there is must-see TV.
Yeah, so this is Thanksgiving. That Saturday, Ohio State is hosting Penn State. So, I mean, like people in general just need to pump the brakes a little bit. This is the first rankings. Like if I remember correctly, only one team in the first, so like one of the four normally make it to the playoffs toward the end of the year. With that being said, I think Alabama is going to take care of LSU to show you back, and then if everything holds face here, Ohio State beats Penn State, that opens a door for Clemson to slide in there. That opens the door for Georgia to slide in there, and opens the door for Oregon Ducks even to slide up in there. So let the season play out.
Oregon's kicking themselves off of losing that. They had no business losing to Auburn in that week 1.
Right.
That's the only thing holding back Oregon from being probably 5 or 4.
Yeah. Like if you think about it, I mean, the Oregon Ducks don't play a real hard schedule by like any means, but they are a pretty solid team, and basically they just got to hold face for the rest of the year because like they don't play any ranked teams to finish out the year, but they do have the Pac-12 championship, which I'm not for sure who they would even possibly play in that Pac-12 championship game. I don't follow Pac-12 whatsoever, but the Oregon Ducks are a pretty solid team. Like if they just win and they win the the Pac-12 championship, they might slide into that college football playoff because of the fact though that you have Alabama playing LSU, Penn State playing Ohio State, Clemson just kind of. I feel like the committee is giving Clemson every chance to prove themselves to slide up in there. But I think ultimately Clemson will be on the outside looking in this year.
Yeah, they'll probably play Utah in the Pac-12 championship, and Utah is a damn good football team. That will be a really good game.
I think didn't they play earlier in the year, if I'm not mistaken? No, they haven't.
Okay, yeah. Utah is the real deal. Utah's defense, their quarterback running, they're good.
Yeah, so out of those kind of like those 7 teams that we were talking about, like you have Ohio State, Penn State, Alabama, LSU, Oregon, Georgia, Clemson. Out of those 7 teams, who do you think is going to be the 4 that make it to the playoffs?
Out of who now, Michael? Go ahead again. Out of
Ohio State, Penn State, Alabama, LSU, Clemson, Oregon, or Georgia.
Man, Ohio State, I think, will beat Penn State because it's at Ohio State there and whatever. Although I'm rooting for Penn State, I'm kind of sick of Ohio State. I'm rooting for Penn State. I mean, I think Clemson's going to get back in there because just by default, I mean they're gonna get back in there. I think they'll be just fine. So hey, looking at Clemson, Ohio State, the winner of LSU, Alabama, and it's not going to be a Big 12 team. Maybe Oregon does sneak back in there. That's possible. Oregon could come out of nowhere. I wonder what is Oregon right now.
I believe they're 7th or 6th or 7th, just depending on what poll you take a look at.
Yeah, Georgia and Oregon still have a chance if they run the table and win their conference to get in there. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I could see in a theory where 3 SEC teams make it again, and like Clemson slides in there because let's say Penn State beats Ohio State. I don't think Penn State can beat a Wisconsin or a Minnesota team in the Big Ten championship game. Minnesota looks pretty darn good. And then so by process of elimination, that kind of takes out all of the Big Ten competition. And let's say LSU beats Alabama, it's a close 3-point game. Georgia beats LSU in the SEC championship game. You could easily see all 3 of those teams in there again with I don't know. It probably be Clemson slides up just like in there. So most people think there's an SEC bias for the college football playoff, and this year I think we will see if that's true or not. If there is an SEC bias.
I hope not. Listen, I'm not an SEC hater or anything like that. I don't want 3 teams for one conference in there. Two, okay, I get it.
All right.
Now, look, you're trying to get the best 4 teams. So I'm not one of those that if there are 3 SEC teams and I'm looking at it and everybody knocked each other off and they're the 4 best teams, I guess so be it. I'll have to live with it. But that's not what I want. I want to see a little more diversity and conferences in there.
So let's say there is no diversity because last year 3 SEC teams made it, right? If I'm not mistaken, it was Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Clemson. Let's say this happens again this year. Is it time to tweak the playoffs a little bit, make it an 8-team playoff, a 6-team playoff, make it so where the conference championship games are a de facto semifinal game to get into the playoffs? Like, how do you fix this?
I've always wanted a 6 or 8. So yeah, I'd want to. I don't, even if it wasn't 3 SEC teams, I've always wanted a 6 or 8 playoff. I know the 9 team will complain, because 8
Right.
get in there, but so what?
There will always be complainers. Like there's always 65 teams. Oh, the 66 team is complaining. Now it's 68. Now it's 69. Like there's always gonna be people saying, "What if?"
Right. So yeah, I would tweak it somehow. That would be. Yeah, I'd go ahead and do 8 or 6. You might could convince me on 6. And you give the 2 teams that maybe like are undefeated a bye week.
Right.
Possible. I mean, but no, I mean, I don't know how fair that would be for the college kids. Maybe just make it 8 and everybody play.
Well, like you have to reward the regular season somehow.
Right.
So if you go undefeated, definitely earn that week off, heal your body. So you will get people saying, "Oh, these kids can't play 14, 15 games in a year." If that's the case, take off one of these easy non-conference games, Alabama versus Crittendale, knock that game out, and then boom, you have your answer.
I got you.
So moving forward here from the college ranks to the NFL ranks, we won't be doing a show tomorrow or Friday. So we're going to go ahead and pick the scores here real quick, Marcus. We're going to quickly go through the games, give a short little explanation of why you think who is going to win. So we have the Thursday night game here. We have LA Chargers 4-5 take on the 4-4 Raiders. Who do you got?
I'll take the Raiders at home, but Chargers are coming on. Wouldn't shock me either way. Which way this game goes.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers because they're really not a road team because they don't have a home anymore. Let's be honest. Moving on to the Sunday here, we have 3-4-1 Detroit Lions traveling to Chicago, Illinois to take on 3-5 Bears. Who do you got?
I'll take the Bears at home.
I'm taking the Lions. I think the Bears have a fork in them. Mitchell Trubisky will probably be pulled by halftime. Next game, you have 6-2. Yeah, 6-2 Baltimore Ravens take on the 0-8 Cincinnati Bengals. Who do you got?
Let's see here. Baltimore. Yeah,
you're taking Baltimore. I'm taking Cincinnati. They're coming off a bye week. They have a rookie. They have a rookie quarterback starting, and there's a thing called a hangover. Once you pick a big team, you have a hangover looking over the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah. Bengals snub them.
I wish you were right. I will be doing backflips because that means that the Chiefs and the Texans it knocks Ravens down big time.
Right. The next game up, we have the 6-2 Buffalo Bills take on the 2-6 Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns are 0-3 at home this year. Who do you got?
I'll take Cleveland.
I'm taking Cleveland as hell. I'm thinking Hunt for the Browns are going to make an impact this week, his first week back. 6-3 Kansas City Chiefs take on the 4-5 Tennessee Titans. Who do you got?
I'm taking the Titans at home, and Mahomes will play.
See, I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs on the road, and I think Mahomes won't play. It's smart for the Chiefs to let him sit one more week into the bye week. Next up, you have the 1-7 Atlanta Falcons take on the 7-1 New Orleans Saints. Who do you got?
New Orleans.
Easy pick there. Breeze goes off. Next up, you have the 2-7 New York Football Giants take on the 1-7 New York Jets. Wow, who do you got?
I'll take the Jets.
I'm taking the other home team, the Giants. I think Daniel Jones is going to have a pretty good game, put the Jets in their place. Next up, you have the 3-5-1 Arizona Cardinals take on the 2-6 Buccaneers. Who do you got?
Buccaneers.
I do. I have to concur. I think Winston is coming on strong, and he's going to have a pretty good game. Now for the nightcaps, you have the 1-7 Miami Dolphins taking the 5-3 Indianapolis Colts. Who do you got?
Colts, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm taking the Colts as well, with or without Jacoby Brissett. Next up, 5-3 Carolina Panthers taking on the 7-2 Green Bay Packers. Who do you got?
Wow, that's a good one.
That's a
Packers
great
are
game.
winning, man. I'll take the Packers. They lost last week. They're probably pretty upset.
Yeah, they are pretty upset, but the Carolina Panthers have a running game that can't be stopped, and the Packers suck at stopping the run. Give me the Carolina Panthers. Next up, 5-3 LA Rams taking on the 4-4 Pittsburgh Steelers. Who do you got?
This is a good one. It's at Heinz Field. It's in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
I'll take Pittsburgh.
I'm taking Pittsburgh as well. I think their quarterback, Kyle Rudolph, is starting to come into his own. And ever since the Steelers picked up Fitzpatrick, they've been doing really, really well on the defensive side of the ball. Then we have the nightcap, Sunday Night Football, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Minnesota Vikings 6-3 taking on your 5-3 Dallas Cowboys. Who do you got?
This is awesome. I mean, these are two evenly matched teams. I'll take the home team, which is the Cowboys, and man, those defensive ends, Hunter and Everson Griffin and Daniel Hunter for Minnesota. I'll tell you what, man, La'el Collins and Tyron Smith better be ready because those boys they're coming, and Anthony Barr too off that edge. Let's hope Kirk Cousins, he throws some mistakes at us. So yeah, instead of throwing his team open, he'll throw some interceptions. I think Adam Thielen may not play again. That'll help Dallas a little bit, but
right, hamstring.
So yeah, I'll take the boys in a nice little 30-27.
How about them Cowboys? I'm taking those Cowboys too. If the Minnesota Vikings cannot beat a terrible Kansas City Chiefs defense, they cannot hang with the pretty darn good defense of the Dallas Cowboys on the road. Back-to-back road losses for the Minnesota Vikings, giving them basically losing control of their own destiny at this point. They're going to need some help to even have a chance to make the playoffs after this game. Cowboys win by 12 points.
Wow, that's a lot.
12 points.
And you said the Kansas City Chiefs terrible defense. They have been bad, right, for a few
They
games.
have.
But
They're starting to come on.
I saw some stuff that I really, really liked. And Chris Jones back. Man, Chris Jones, they showed a play on ESPN. He moved the center 5 yards that way back into the quarterback's lap. Yeah. I mean, Chris Jones is a man, dude.
Those are the best type of sacks where you can literally push your guy back into the quarterback and you never touch the quarterback. Those are the best types of sacks.
Man, no. I mean, the Honey Badger, these guys, man, they're coming on, man. I with Mahomes, and we've talked about this, all they have to do is be 16th or 17th best in the league. They don't have to be number one. They don't have to be top 10.
So let me speak on the Kansas City Chiefs defense a little bit because I am a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan, obviously. And the reason why we're playing better now is because our defense is getting healthy. We have Hitchens in the lineup full. We have Ragsdale in there. Chris Jones is back off of his neck injury. But the key is they're starting to blitz. So a wise man once told me is if you cannot beat them, blitz them. They cannot block 7 guys every play, which that's what the Kansas City Chiefs are doing. They're bringing 6 or 7 guys damn near every play, manning up on the outside, daring you to beat them deep. And lately, the Denver Broncos haven't been able to do it, and the Minnesota Vikings haven't been able to do it either. So,
yeah, that's why this past draft was huge for the Chiefs to get McCole Hardman there, and then to get Thornhill, the safety. He's not a bad safety, man. He's part of the reason that you can blitz Tyrann Mathieu because he's a free safety back there.
Yeah,
and he's not bad, right, man, as a rookie. Justin Reed for the Texans wasn't as bad. They're similar for the Texans last year. So that's going to be it for today's show. We quickly picked the games for you guys. We will recap them on the Facebook page if you're following us on Facebook. Be sure to like that page. I'll also stream a couple games on Sunday as like as well for those out of market people that can't get their games. So Marcus, any closing thoughts before we head out? Just watch a little NBA tonight. Kawhi Leonard's on another load management without Paul George there. They promised Kawhi, man, when they signed him that Kawhi's only playing 60 games. So that Clippers best record, they may not get it. They may go, you know what? We'll sacrifice the best record because they all want to be healthy, even if they're the 4th seed.
Right. even then, if they were to even get a top seed and they played LA Lakers, it's not going to be a home game for them anyway. So it is what it is. So speaking of basketball, congratulations to the Kentucky Wildcats for knocking off the #1 seed Michigan State Spartans last night.
We did.
Just go ahead and put the ring on the Kentucky Wildcats fingers, man, right now.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Although KU did look good. That hurt coming out of my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Kentucky looked good. That point guard, Maxey, man, he looked like the real deal, man.
Yeah. 17-year-old. How crazy is that? Yeah. But, guys, that's going to be it for today. Join us on Monday as we're going to break down the Monday night game. Who is the Monday night game? Seahawks and 49ers. So
it's one of the best ones. That right. A lot of Monday nights this year, me and you have both been like, we'll pay attention maybe. I'm paying attention to this one.
I.e. Pittsburgh Steelers versus Miami. Oh, crap. But, guys, join us Monday.
I watched one more minute of that than a dead man.
Hey.
Yeah.
Living the dream, man. Marcus, get the feeling better, man. We'll see you on Monday. Have a good weekend.